You really have to give a lot of your own personal energy when you're working with dementia residents at a dementia unit, especially if they're shut down, shut off and depressed, which they often are when you first start working at such places. But if you can get them interested and focused and engaged in the activity at hand, then you're halfway there. And from then on, it's often a win-win situation. Now, for me personally, if a dementia resident makes an effort, then I'm willing to go that extra 110% to help them. And you need to. And as a result of that, they'll make that good effort for you. As they used to say, we like thinking, we like learning, and we're trying hard. And indeed they did. They really worked hard and they tried hard. They put in all their effort to focus and concentrate and get the results from that concentration in terms of their confidence, their thinking, and their clarity. Of course, there's a vast range of abilities in dementia units in terms of cognition and physical ability and emotional states, the whole range. There was one woman at the dementia unit that I worked at. She was remarkably articulate, very well read. She just kept her intellect focused and engaged all day. She was constantly reading. And when I used to read the newspaper reading each morning, she'd say to me and announce to the whole group, "What are you reading us the newspaper for? I can read the newspaper by myself, thank you very much." Oh my goodness, it was so hard counteracting that, because she could read the newspaper on her own very well, and she preferred that, understandably. But others couldn't read the newspaper on their own. They were having a hard enough job to understand it even when it was read to them. So to be able to curtail her enough to cooperate, joining in the activity and listening to the newspaper reading, if she would please do that, was extremely challenging, because she was very outspoken, acerbic, you know, sharp wit, didn't like to be seen to be on the other side of the fence, always liked to be the top dog. And it was really hard to settle her down enough to be able to mix in and not to mind listening to the newspaper reading in the morning. I could understand her point of view, actually. She just wanted a quiet time where she could read the paper on her own, as most of us would. But the fact is the majority couldn't do that. So I really needed her cooperation, actually, because when she was in the group, because she was so well read and read the newspaper for the rest of the day, so was informed, she generated the group along with me to get the others, encouraging the others to think and speak and engage and communicate. So I really needed her on board, but at the same time it was tough going. Anyway, in the end, what happened is she started to develop an empathy for the other residents. And I wondered at the start, how was it that she turned on this? And I really think, looking back, it was because of the other dementia residents setting an example for her. Her best friend, who was also a former school teacher, was very empathetic and understanding and kind. So I think that rubbed off onto her. And also her new male friend was a very articulate guy with a fabulous memory. He was extremely good to all the women and very compassionate. And from observing his behaviour, she also took it up. She also took it on in the end. And she said, no, I realise that I need to be more, I need to be kinder and more tolerant. And I'm going to try to make an effort. And she did. She did make an effort. She did really well, even with the most distressing residents. She was kind to them. Just even the disturbing behaviour she was able to tolerate in the end. So she was remarkable, the way she turned. But she was very finicky. Finicky, is that the word? Initially. And very bright and could learn quickly. And the one occasion where I realised that she was bright and could pick up things quickly was she was sitting at just before the newspaper reading was started, she was reading a small pamphlet on the retirement village advertising for people to come into the units and homes, and it said in it, come to this retirement village, it's just like home, right? So the just like home was the big advertising feature. So she was just into reading this, and at the same time, as they were having morning tea by now, crumbs were being distributed all over the carpet, as they often are, from people that aren't that capable of keeping the crumbs and cake to themselves. After morning tea, it's always crumbs all over the floor. You can't help it. Anyway, she was sitting there reading her lovely pamphlet, Just Like Home, and said, who's going to sweep up the crumbs on the carpet? And I said, oh, look, can we just wait till when the cleaner comes for that? Because we just have to do the newspaper reading, and, you know, we haven't got time to be able to clean up the crumbs yet. And she said, it's not just like home here with all these crumbs on the carpet. If I was at home, I wouldn't have these crumbs on the carpet. On and on she went, talking about this advertising feature, Just Like Home, and here it was, just not like home. So anyway, I just had to go and get the sweeper, the shovel and the broom, and I did it myself basically. And I had to actually do this for quite some time to appease her, so that the carpet was nice and clean, no crumbs, just like at home, and then she would cooperate. But never mind, it only took 5 minutes from my side, and she gave cooperation for a full hour to the group. So in that way, we worked together, we became a team, and I worked hard, they worked hard, and we progressed together. So all of these trials and tribulations and successes are in these two books, The Resident's Voice from a Dementia Unit and The Resident's Rise from a Dementia Unit. And rise they did. Challenges they had, memory problems, direction orientation problems, but achievements were vast with their focus, their efforts and their concentration, building through to confidence and communication, all of which is outlined in the books and how they established their own wonderful little dementia community. On Amazon, these books, and on my website, pietavalentine.com. And thank you, YouTubers and TikTokers, for all the subscriptions and fabulous comments and likes and all the support. I'm so appreciating it. And please subscribe if you haven't. And thank you for everything.